This story is part of Forbes' coverage of Philippines' richest 2020. See the full list here. Despite one of the world's strictest lockdowns, an 80-day quarantine imposed in March for Metro Manila and elsewhere in the Philippines, COVID-19 cases nationwide surpassed 250,000 in September, Southeast Asia's highest number of cases. The country's benchmark stock index, the PSEI, reflected the economic challenges the pandemic poses, falling 26% since fortunes were measured a year ago. The collective wealth of the Philippines' 50 richest dropped to $60.6 billion from $78 billion a year earlier. A total of 32 listees saw their net worths decline. The C siblings took the biggest hit in dollar terms but remain at no. One with $13.9 billion. Their fortune was down by $3.3 billion amid a contracting economy and soaring unemployment. Property tycoon Manuel Villa suffered a $1.6 billion drop in his net worth to $5 billion but held on to his rank as the country's second richest. Banking fortunes were especially hard hit. The Thai siblings of GT Capital and Metrobank shed 46% of their fortune, to $1.4 billion. Frederick D.Y. was down more than 46% to $190 million as shares in his security bank fell 52% over the past year. Oscar Lopez, who holds a majority stake in TV network ABS-CBN, saw his net worth nearly halved to $240 million after Philippine lawmakers in July rejected the company's bid to renew its 25-year broadcast license. The shares have lost close to 65% of their value over the past year. Of the 10 listees whose fortunes rose, Ed Garcia too was this year's biggest gainer in both percentage and dollar terms. He added $300 million, or 75%, to his net worth, which is now $700 million. That rise was partly due to the successful IPO of his Merry Mart in June. Shares of the grocer have nearly doubled since the listing as quarantine measures boosted sales. 6 names dropped off the list, including Edgar Saavedra of Megawide Construction. Megawide shares fell by more than 65% after reporting a first-half net loss of 398 million pesos, $8 million. Megawide's co-founder Michael Kozikian, however, stayed on the list as most of his wealth is tied to an earlier sale of the company's shares. The estate of San Miguel's Eduardo Cojuangco, who died in June, was inherited by his wife, Soledad Open Cojuangco, who came in at no. 16. She shares the fortune with their 4 children, Carlos, Luisa, Margarita and Mark. Similarly, Lance Gokongwei and his siblings debuted on the list at no. 4, replacing their father John Gokongwei Jr., who died in November 2019. Lance Gokongwei shares the fortune with his 5 sisters, Faith, Hope, Lisa, Marcia and Rabina. 4 returned to the ranks, Mikel Aboitiz, Lourdes Montinola, Michael Romero and Luis Virata. Their comeback was largely due to this year's lower cutoff, which fell 23% from last year's list to $100 million. Reporting by Grace Chung, John Kang, Sean Kilachand, Anuradha Raghunathan, Anas Shakira Mod Muslimin and Yue Wang.